Up to the sky, Christopher Daniels, Frankie Zay, collectively known as SoCal Uncensored or
SCU! This is Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the worst podcast I've ever been on. Word.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Catch, Hook, and Shoot, the best podcast you never heard of. My name's Tom. I am your host. Today is Friday, March the 17th, 2023. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Don't get too drunk tonight. I'm kidding. Drink your ass off, just don't drive. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, and subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure you check out our link tree. It's linktree/catchhookshoot, or you can scan this little QR code over here in the corner, and you'll find links to all of our social medias, our website, the YouTube channel, all the podcasting platforms, and all that kind of fun stuff. And if you ever want to shoot us an email, it's catchhookshoot@gmail.com. So let's get this week kicked off right, starting everything off the way we always do with our lead story. So this week's lead story, the WWE Hall of Fame had our first two inductee announcements this week. Found out on SmackDown, the very first inductee is Rey Mysterio. Definitely well-deserved. He's had an amazing career through Mexico, ECW, WCW, WWE, Lucha Underground, just all over the place. Arguably the greatest luchador that has ever lived. I mean, he's in the same category as El Santo and Mil Mascaras and, guys of that level. So, definitely well-deserved Rey Mysterio. And the second inductee, announced by Ric Flair on the bump, is the Great Muta. Just recently had his retirement tour. And again, I mean, he is in that top-tier level of international stars with Muta, of course, in Japan. Just one of the greatest Japanese wrestlers of all time. With Rey and Muta, you've got possibly the greatest Mexican wrestler of all time and the greatest Japanese wrestler of all time. Obviously, both of those are arguable. I am not forgetting about people like Antonio Inoki and Giant Baba and Jushin Thunder Liger and stuff like that. But Muta is definitely in that upper echelon as well. So, congratulations to both guys, Rey Mysterio and the Great Muta, going into the Hall of Fame. I'm sure we're going to get more announcements over the next few weeks leading up to WrestleMania as far as who's going into the Hall of Fame. I know there's a lot of talk about whether or not Batista's finally going to go in. Was supposed to go in a couple years ago. The pandemic kind of put a damper on that because obviously he wants to go in front of fans. He didn't want to go in an empty arena, so it was postponed. So we'll have to wait and see if Batista is going to be part of this year's Hall of Fame class. But it's shaping up to be pretty good so far. These are two guys that there can be no argument about whether or not they belong in there. So we'll have to see who else is going to end up getting inducted this year. So let's roll into our next segment of the show, and that is what is, in my opinion, the best match from this week, and that's called the Match of the Week. So this week's Match of the Week is from AEW Dynamite, and it was the main event of the show, House of Black defending the Trios titles against the Elite and the Jericho Appreciation Society. And, I mean, a Trios triple threat match, you don't see those every day, but I mean, with these three groups in there, honestly, you couldn't go wrong. Of course, Dynamite took place in Winnipeg, so we were going to see a confrontation between Jericho and Omega. That did not disappoint. Then during the match, we saw a cut to the back with Hangman, Adam Page, and the Dark Order fighting against the Blackpool Combat Club. This, of course, was carried over from earlier in the show from another Trios match, and they fought from the back all the way to the ring. I'll get a little more into that later, but House of Black did win to retain the AEW World Trios Championship. So definitely, if you didn't see Dynamite, if you haven't seen this match, definitely go check it out. It was a very good match for having 9 guys involved. It was a a very good match. So moving right along, we're going to get into my top 3 highlights of the week, and that's called the 3 count. First up on the 3 count this week, Rey and Dominic Mysterio had a couple of really good promos. They had one on SmackDown, one on Raw, after Rey was announced for the Hall of Fame. And, of course, Dominic coming out talking about, he had this Hall of Fame career at the expense of his family, and, just playing up the storyline. At one point, Dom actually said he should have been Eddie's son, kind of hearkening back to that Eddie Guerrero storyline with Rey Mysterio, where Eddie was supposedly Dominic's father. And then we finally had the formal challenge laid out on Raw from Dominic to Rey for a match at WrestleMania. Rey, of course, turned it down, but it's still building. But I'm glad they finally at least threw the challenge out there. I said last week in the weekly hot take, they need to pull the trigger and set the match already, so they're obviously working towards that. So in the next 2 weeks, I would think that that's going to become a reality, and we're going to see Rey versus Dominic at WrestleMania. Number 2 on the 3 count, MJF's Rebar Mitzvah. It's just a ridiculous segment from Dynamite, but with MJF, it's going to be entertaining, and it turned into a 4-way promo with the so-called 4 pillars of AEW, which is MJF, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, and Sammy Guevara. Darby, Jungle Boy, and Guevara all coming out basically saying they want a title match, and can't really argue too much with any of them on this, so I like that they're starting to move in that direction, because these are the 4 guys that AEW is pretty much built around. These guys are the future of that company. All of these guys at one point or another, in my opinion, unless something drastic happens, all 4 of these guys are going to be world champions at one point or another. MJF is the champion right now. He just finished up the program with Bryan Danielson. Not currently involved in any storylines, so I think this is a good way to kind of kick it off with these 4 guys. I would like to see MJF and Darby have a full-on program. I would like to see that be MJF's next challenge. Would be Darby Allin. Darby's already been a multiple-time TNT champion, so let's put him in that world title picture. Same could be said for Sammy Guevara, though. He's been TNT champion a handful of times, so could be ready for that world title push. Jungle Boy, been tag team champion, finally striking out on his own. Finished with Christian Cage in that it was basically a coffin match, casket match, whatever you want to call it, at the last pay-per-view. So it'll be interesting to see who the next world title challenger is. And number 3 on the 3 count, very interesting ending to that 3-way trios match I was talking about during the match of the week. Now, like I said, Hangman and the Dark Order fought their way to the ring with the Blackpool Combat Club, and it ended up just being Hangman. The Dark Order got knocked out, basically, and Hangman makes his way to the ring. He's in the ring. Blackpool Combat Club basically has him surrounded, has him cornered, and who jumps in to have Hangman's back? The Elite, the Bucks and Kenny Omega. Definitely planting some seeds. Is the original Elite gonna get back together here, or what? Is Hangman gonna be brought back into the fold of the Elite with the Bucks and Kenny? Because he was basically kicked out of the Elite. There was a big rivalry with Hangman and Kenny Omega over the world title. So very, very interesting stuff going on in AEW. I cannot wait to see where this is going to lead. So, Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite could be a very good story. So let's see where this one's going. So let's get into some news and rumors and stuff for the week. AEW announced Forbidden Door is going to be taking place June 25th in Toronto. Tony Khan announced they're going on a full-on tour of Canada in June and July, so they're basically, AEW is basically spending their summer in Canada. So, and the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, of course, is a joint venture between AEW and New Japan. I think that's why we've seen Juice Robinson going after Ricky Starks last week. I think it's pretty obvious that's going to be a match on Forbidden Door. Then some NXT news. Shawn Michaels made an announcement there's going to be a ladder match for the NXT women's title at Stand and Deliver. This is due to the fact that Roxanne Perez, her last title defense against Meiko Satomura, collapsed after the match. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming this is storyline, but don't really know. I mean, it kind of harkens back to when the same thing happened with Shawn Michaels, years ago, collapsed in the middle of the ring during a match with Owen Hart. So it's kind of running along the same lines. Now, the thing with Shawn Michaels was storyline. The thing with Roxanne Perez, not really sure. I'm assuming it's storyline, but so we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure she'll end up, if it is storyline, she'll end up being in that ladder match at Stand and Deliver. Not sure exactly how many people are going to be in this match. They're having qualifying matches to see who gets in, almost like a Money in the Bank thing. So we'll see how that goes. Next week on SmackDown, we're going to have a match between Sheamus and Drew McIntyre for the number one contendership for the Intercontinental title. So the winner of that gets the match at WrestleMania against Gunther. And this is coming off the fact of there was a double pin in a fatal four-way match on SmackDown to determine the number one contender. Was it a four-way or a five-way? I don't remember. A multi-person match, and Drew and Sheamus both got the pin at the same time. Two different referees made the 3 count, so now they have to face each other to see who gets the shot at Gunther for the Intercontinental title. We saw a promo from the Usos. We had Jey Uso basically explaining why he attacked Sami Zayn last week and just saying, because you're not family. And that was basically the gist of it, that Sami's not part of the family, not part of the bloodline, never will be. And in the midst of this promo, we saw Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn come down to the ring and go on the attack, kind of get the upper hand a little bit, chase the Usos away. Then we saw Edge on Monday Night Raw, at the very beginning of Raw, challenge Finn Balor for WrestleMania to a Hell in the Cell match. And Finn Balor accepted, kind of made reference to the Demon a little bit, says he's been to Hell, and, they kicked him out more or less because they couldn't handle his demons, quote unquote. So are we going to see the Demon at WrestleMania? I think that'd be pretty cool, especially in a Hell in a Cell match. The Demon entrance at WrestleMania would be freaking epic. But Balor's also said that the Demon's retired. So, again, another kind of wait-and-see thing. And then, also on Monday Night Raw, Damage Control attacked Trish Stratus in the parking lot. Of course, this is leading up to the 6-woman tag team match coming up at WrestleMania between Damage Control, Trish, Lita, and Becky Lynch. Trish got a nice little black eye out of that attack, but she basically said all they did was piss her off. And then we saw the first face-to-face confrontation between Brock Lesnar and Omos. And it really gave you kind of a perspective on exactly how big Omos is. I mean, he towered over Brock Lesnar and just really kind of manhandled him, just tossed him over the top rope like he was nothing. So, they're building Omos to be a monster. I mean, they already have been building him to be a monster. This is Brock Lesnar. This has been, the unstoppable beast in WWE for the last 10 years at least. So I kind of like this. I wasn't sure about this matchup, but after seeing the face-to-face with them this week, I'm intrigued to see how this match is going to go, because at one point Lesnar did get Omos in the waistlock like he was going to German suplex him, and Omos just, got out of it like nothing. So very interested to see this. And then again, we saw another appearance from the Usos on Monday Night Raw during a match between Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa. It was a street fight. Ended up going back into the gorilla area, and the Usos were waiting on Owens, and basically the Usos and Solo just beat the crap out of Kevin Owens to end the show. Then on, I believe it was on Rampage, we saw an appearance from Mark Briscoe addressing the situation with the Ring of Honor tag team titles, and they are, it's Supercard of Honor. They're going to have what they're calling a Reach for the Sky ladder match. Reach for the Sky, of course, the saying from Mark's brother Jay Briscoe. It's the their entrance music and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Reach for the Sky ladder match. The first announced team for that match is the Lucha Brothers. Don't know how many teams are going to be in it, but so yeah, Supercard of Honor, March 31st. We're going to have the Reach for the Sky ladder match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. And I was talking about the Blackpool Combat Club earlier, getting involved during the Trios Championship match earlier in the show in Dynamite. Blackpool Combat Club did have a match against Evil Uno, Stu Grayson, and Hangman Page. Blackpool Combat Club was victorious in that one, and they're kind of making a heel turn. I mean, at one point we saw Wheeler Yuta take out Hangman with the ring bell. So, but they're still getting cheered. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic there. Supposedly Evil Uno ended up getting taken to the hospital because Blackpool Combat Club just put a beating on Hangman and the Dark Order. And we also saw the TV debut of Taya Valkyrie in AEW. Taya is all elite, and she came out and confronted Jade Cargill, so basically throwing herself into the hunt for the TBS championship. And then we saw the first defense of the last defense of the All Atlantic Championship and the first defense of the International Championship by Orange Cassidy. Managed to retain that title against Jeff Jarrett in a very good match. I mean, Orange Cassidy catches so much crap because of his gimmick, his persona. When it comes down to it, the guy can go in the ring. I mean, if there is a fifth pillar of AEW, it's probably Orange Cassidy. Quite honestly, I mean, if all you see when you look at Orange Cassidy is just the laid-back, nonchalant attitude and the fake little, lazy kicks and that kind of stuff, if that's all you see, then you're not watching his matches. Sorry to tell you. But anyway, so that's going to wrap us up for news and rumors and results for the week. So right now I'm going to throw it over to Charlie G, and he's here with your Indie Cut.
I don't know if you like podcasts or if you don't like podcasts, but damn it, the Indie Cut with Charlie G. If you don't like podcasts, you're about to like podcasts, go watch the Indie Cut with Charlie G, damn it. It's the finest podcast amongst all podcasts.
Thank you, Tom, and Hall of Fame Briscoe Brothers. Hey there, wrestling friends. I'm Charlie G with this week's Indie Cut. Let's begin with Thursday, March 9th at Freelance, Shy City from the Emporium in Logan Square. Yeah, for some reason I'm still not making out to that show. Maybe one day I will. Six-way scramble match. It was Shane Mercer defeating Aaron Payne, Blair Onyx, Lowell Kamiki, Sabin Gage, and the sort of incredible Iverson. Quota Hernandez defeated Isaiah Velasquez. GPA and Laney Luck defeated Angel Escalera and Chico Suave. For the Freelance Legacy title, champion Brian Keith defeated Cole Radrick. Craig Mitchell defeated Carlos Romo. For the Freelance Tag Team titles, champions August Matthews and Davey Bang defeated the Voros twins of Chris Voros and Patrick Voros. And for the Freelance World title match, champion Storm Grayson defeated Trevor Outlaw. So that was fun to see. Nice crowd there. It was filled, and people in the bar were like, what the heck is going on? So if you can ever catch a match there, please do so. To Friday, March 10th, and World Series Wrestling from Melbourne, Australia. This was on Fight TV at 3 in the morning, or 4 in the morning, so this is day 1. Eric Redbeard teamed with Matt Basso to defeat Brian Myers and Matt Cardona in a triple threat match. TJP defeated Blake Christian and Flip Gordon. Brian Cage took on Josh Alexander to a no contest. In a tag match, Eli Thesis and Gabriel Arrows, sorry if I messed up those names, defeated Effie and Joey Janela. For their women's title, Jordan Grace defeated champion Shaza McKenzie to become new champion. And for their heavyweight title, champion Johnny Down Under defeated Bandito. That'd be an awesome show. There's more to come, so stick around. To New Japan Cup, Day 4. Still in the first round. Kyle Fletcher defeated Yoshihashi. And Aaron Hanare defeated Shingo Takagi. Back here in the States, House of Glory. With Glory Comes Pride 2023. For the Cruiserweight title, champion Mighty Monty defeated Encore. For the women's title, champion the Ultraviolet defeated Max Impaler. That'd be pretty interesting there. For the Cruiserweight title, number 1 contendership match, Ichiban defeated Eden, Nolo Katano, Oshito, Raheem Royal, and Smiley. For the Crown Jewel title, champion Charles Mason defeated Alec Price. For their heavyweight title, champion Jacob Fatu defeated Fred Rosser. For their tag title in a no DQ match, the bookers of Amazing Red and BXL defeated champions the main event, Jay Lyon and Midas Black, to become the champions. And in a quite awesome singles match, Kushida defeated Low Ki. Down to Georgia and action. It's cool. O'Shea Edwards defeated Kevin Ryan. Bobby Flacco defeated Carlos Romo. Billy Starks defeated Devlin Macabre. Alex Kane and Shug D defeated Damian Tangre and Matt Sells. Derek Neal defeated AC Mack. Brogan Finley defeated the One Call Manders. And for their action tag titles, Eli Knight and Malik Basoud defeated champions Dominic Rini and Kevin Koo to become new champions. So yet again, Dominic Rini and Kevin Koo lose more tag titles. Something has to be coming up with those guys. I swear to it. Moving on to Saturday, March 11th. World Series Wrestling Unleash Hell Day 2. Once again at 3 in the morning. Effie defeated Brian Myers and Joey Janela. Bandito defeated Blake Christian. Steph DeLander defeated Shazza McKenzie. Josh Alexander defeated TJP. For their tag titles, the Flippin' Machines of Brian Cage and Flip Gordon retained against Eli Thesis and Gabriel Eros, as well as Eric Redbeard and Matt Basso. For the women's title, champion Jordan Grace defeated Jessica Troy by DQ. And for their heavyweight title, Matt Cardona defeated champion Johnny Down Under to become the champion and add more to his title title collection. I don't think he's going anywhere soon. Anyway, so keep up the good work, Cardona. You're doing a great job. Up to Japan, New Japan Cup Day 5. Second round matches. Tetsuya Naito defeated Chase Owens, and Sonata defeated Kenta. Stick it in Japan, we got Stardom. Lady C won again against Yuna Mizumori and Ram Kaicho. Maria May and Mina Sarakawa defeated Rina and Ruaka. Julia May Sakurai and Tekla defeated Hanan, Kaguma, and Momo Kogo. Inisarai, Mirai, and Shuri defeated Hazuki, Mayugi Utani, and Saida. In a 10-woman tag, Fukigen Death, Mo Watanabe, Natsuka Toro, Saka Kashima, and Starlight Kid defeated Azumi, Hina, Miyo Amasaki, Saya Kamatani, and Utami Hashita. And in the main event, it was Himeka and Maika defeating Natsupoi and Tam Nakano. I haven't stated this, but Himeka is on her retirement tour. She will be retiring a little sooner than later, but all the best to her. I'm sure she could return within a few years, like most Japanese women kind of do. To Pennsylvania, and Pennsylvania Premier, Locked and Loaded. Layla Gray and Luke Curtis defeated Danny Moe and Nolan Pierce. Lindsay Dorado defeated Brandon Lee, Brando Lee, Chris Slade, Clutch Adams and Montequila. I believe that's right. And then Samurai Del Sol defeated Facade. So nice to see Layla, Danny, Lindsay, and Samurai, as well as Facade, all wrestling somewhere. To Connecticut and Northeast Wrestling, WrestleFest 27. Wrecking Ball Legursky defeated Brian Malonis. For their new live title, champion Casey Navarro defeated Mortar. Brian Anthony and Matt Taven defeated Dan Moff and Kerr. Konosuke Takeshita defeated JT Dunn. And then Sammy Guevara teamed with Ty Mello to defeat Encore and Tiara James. So nice to see a little AEW involvement there. Then up to Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and the GCW and International Wrestling Syndicate Unfaction Kickoff Show. These two matches are live and free on YouTube. So we had Team GCW of Alec Price, Cole Radrick, Dylan McKay, Shea Mercer defeating Black Dynamite, JT Producer, Cal Jepson, and Sean Hawk. And then we had Hardbody and Jimmy Lloyd defeating amazingly Alex Mays and Christara. And then on to the main show. That was on Fight TV. We had Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne defeating Junior Benito and McCray Martin. LaFisto defeated Sawyer Wreck. Matthew St. Jacques and Thomas Dubois defeating Cyclope and Mito Extremo. In a beer bash match, Matt Falco defeated the one called Manders. Mike Bailey defeated Gringo Loco. For their IWS Women's title, champion Melanie Havoc defeated Allie Ketch. For the World Heavyweight title, champion Benjamin Tull defeated Tony Deppen. And then in a Fans Bring the Weapons, what turned into a 6-man tag. This was a gory mess by the end of the show. Mance Warner, Nick Gage, and Rin Yamashita defeated Green Phantom, PCP Crazy, F and Manny, and Sexy Eddie. Manny got just bludgeoned. I think it was Manders broke a light tube over the side of his head and busted something open on his ear, or I don't know, but he was cold in it, and they said get out of the ring while Nick cuts his ending promo. So if you want to watch that, go right ahead. It was something else. I'll just put it nicely like that. But yeah, nice show. All really interesting matches. Cool to see some different people wrestling, GCW guys. But check it out if you can. Moving over to Seattle, Washington, and Defy on top. We had Action Andretti defeating Guillermo Rojas. Jody Threat defeated Danica Diehard. The Bollywood Boys of Gursura and Harsura defeating Kevin Knight and Kushida. Maybe that's why they got booked to be on Rampage later tonight. We had Top Flight of Dante Martin and Darius Martin defeating Eddie Pearl and Ricky Gibson. And then for their Pacific Northwest Heavyweight title, champion Shaft defeated Homicide. To Cleveland, Ohio, and Circle 6, Obey Your Master. Jay Chris defeated Nate Webb. Skipping a lot of matches and going to the main event of the Circle 6 World Title 3 Stages of Hell match, where Zachary Wentz defeated Atticus Kogar. 2 falls to 1. Zachary won a Lumberjack Rules match first. Atticus won the strap match. And in a last man standing, Zachary won and became new champion. So congrats to him. Met him a few times in War, so nice to see him get a championship somewhere else. Down to Bronzeville, Texas, and 3 Bat Productions Spring Break Brawl 8. Lady Shani defeated Sukana, and Sam Adonis defeated Tejano Jr. Only names I really knew, so sorry about that. To Sunday, March 12th, and World Series Wrestling. Day 3. Josh Alexander defeated Blake Christian in a Tornado Rules tag match. Jordan Grace and Steph DeLander defeated Jessica Troy and Shazza McKenzie. Johnny Down Under defeated Brian Myers for their Australian title in a 6-way scramble match. TJP defeated Bandito, Chris Basso, Effie, Flip Gordon, and Joey Janela to become the champion. Eric Redbeard and Matt Basso defeated Eli Thesis and Theus and Gabriel Eros. And again, for the World Heavyweight title, champion Matt Cardona defeated Brian Cage. So yeah, those had to be some fun shows to see. New Japan Cup Day 6. Tama Tonga defeated Aaron Henare, and Hirori Goto defeated Kyle Fletcher. Another Stardom show. Maria May and Mina Sarakawa defeated Hanan and Saida. Natsupoi Tanakano defeated Emi Sarai and Siri, as well as Natsuko Toro and Raka. 8-woman tag. Azumi, Lady C, Saya Kamatani, and Utami Hayashita defeated Julia, Himeka, Maika, and Mai Sakurai. It is the main event. It was Momo Watanabe, Saki Kashima, and Starlight Kid defeating Hazuki, Kaguma, and Mayu Iwatani. Hopefully I will see that show later Thursday. I'm reporting this on Thursday. I'll see this on DJ Anti's stream later. And you can as well. If you go to his, follow his channel, you will see a lot of the wrestling that I've talked about. The Netherlands and Westside Extreme Wrestling. Their 16 karat gold final day. I'm just going to do this. For the semifinals, it was Singo Hiro Erie defeating Ahura, and Axel Tisha defeating Peter Tahani. Here we go. Bobby Guns and Michael Knight defeated Davey Richards and Masa Slanovich. Then Argyle Blanc and Senzo Volto defeated Commander defeated Ariz, Fuminar Abi, and Trey Miguel. So a lot of guys were overseas this past weekend. And then for their Unified World Wrestling Title 16 karat gold match, Single Hair Erie defeated Axel Tischer to become new champion. Back here in the States, in New South Wrestling, Upstart Week 5. For the Upstart title, champion Dustin Jackson defeated Troy Parker. For the New South Women's title, champion Nurse Mika defeated Ari Alexander. And in their main event, it was Brian Pillman Jr. defeating Garrison Creed. To Monday, March 13th, New Japan Cup Day 7. Evil defeated Jeff Cobb. Sorry to hear that. And Will Ospreay defeated Mark Davis. A little news about this. Will Ospreay injured his shoulder in this match. So Mark Davis will be taking his place moving forward. And then Wednesday, March 15th, New Japan Cup Day 8. David Finlay defeated the Great Okan. And Shoto Umino defeated Zack Sabre Jr. Very good. Little news. Dominic Greeny, Joshua Bishop, Derek Dillinger, and Marino Tangalia were in a car accident headed to a show one morning. All are fine, just a little sore, so nice to see no one was seriously hurt in this. I mean, I saw the footage of I saw the car photo. I don't know how anyone really walked away here this sore, but all the best to them. Hopefully they all stay safe and healthy on their future travels, because that car just, watch out there on the mornings when you go into a show, right? So that's it for me until next week, which should be the Warrior Wrestling 29 preview show. If not, just the regular recap, and I will probably try to preview as quick as I can. If you're watching, I am recording this, on 3/16, so happy Stone Cold Day and March Madness. I saw some nice games already today. Hope you enjoyed the cut. Thank you for watching or listening. Take care, keep safe, be kind to anyone, and enjoy your wrestling. Back to you, Tom.
All right, Charlie, thank you as always for everything you do to contribute to the show. Greatly appreciated. And we're going to right now roll into the next part of the show, which is the weekly top 5. All right, so yeah, 4 out of the 5 this week. Actually, all 5 are coming from AEW, but 4 out of the top 5 are those 4 pillars that I mentioned earlier. That segment, I think, did a lot to just kind of say, hey, this is the top in AEW. These are the guys to watch. These are the ones going forward that we're going to build on. MJF, Darby, Sammy Guevara, and Jungle Boy Jack Perry. And I'm here for it. I'm a big fan of all 4 of these guys. Yes, MJF included, even though he's a complete asshole. But that I think that did a lot for all 4 of them. Just as far as, I mean, like MJF needs any more heat, but the bar mitzvah thing was ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, my God, go watch it. It was ridiculous in the best possible way. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I want to see Darby be the next challenger. Sammy Guevara and Jungle Boy, are definitely in line there. But those 4 guys are what AEW is going to be going into the future. And then the 5th man on the top 5 this week is Orange Cassidy. His match with Jeff Jarrett was fantastic. It was I strongly considered making that one the match of the week, but that trios title match just beat it out by just a hair. But yeah, Orange Cassidy, like I said, he catches so much crap because of his gimmick and the persona and the way he portrays himself on TV and stuff. But when he gets in the ring, you cannot argue with his ability in the ring, and he is definitely well deserving of that international title. Even though I think AEW has overdone it with championships a little bit, just a little bit. But anyway, so I don't have a fantasy booker for this week, so we're just going to roll into the last segment of the show, where I talk about kind of maybe a controversial topic, give a not so popular opinion, or something along those lines. But that's called the weekly hot take. All right, so the hot take for this week is about the WWE Hall of Fame, or Wrestling Halls of Fame in general. Active wrestlers should not be eligible for the Hall of Fame. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame is about someone's career as a whole. If you look at sports Hall of Fames, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, whatever, the person has to have been retired for X amount of years and has to have played that sport for X amount of years. With baseball, I think you have to be retired for 5 years and you have to have played in the major leagues for at least 10. Those are like the bare minimum requirements for eligibility, and then there's the whole voting process. I'm not even going to get into all that. But I think the same should be done for any wrestling Hall of Fame. If they're an active wrestler, their career's not done. They should not be considered yet. I think they should have to be retired. And granted, wrestlers come out of retirement all the time. But, still, they have to have at some point said, okay, my career is done. And they have to have stayed retired for X amount of years, maybe 5 years, like Major League Baseball. And they should have to have had a career of a minimum length, 10 years maybe, I don't know, whatever. But there should be some type of parameters for eligibility for the Hall of Fame, But also, wrestling, not completely a sport. Let's be real. It's definitely an athletic. I like to say it's not an athletic competition. It's an athletic exhibition. So, it's not a competition in the same way that baseball and football are. It's more an exhibition because there are predetermined outcomes, and it is, it does have the entertainment aspect of the storytelling and things like that. So in that way, it may be the reason they do put active people into the Hall of Fame is because of the entertainment side of it. Because, like, take the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Well, bands don't have to be retired to go into the Hall of Fame. They just have to have been active in the music business for X amount of years. I don't know how many it is, 20, 30, whatever. So, maybe that's how they look at it to determine this stuff. But at its core, wrestling is supposed to be perceived more as a sport than, than an exhibition, or than the entertainment side of it. So, if they want it to be perceived as a sport, I think there needs to be a little bit stricter parameters for Hall of Fame eligibility. That's my whole point here. And obviously, what brought this up is Rey Mysterio going in this year. He's still an active wrestler. Ric Flair was inducted as an active wrestler, even though he, had his retirement match the next day with Shawn Michaels. Obviously, he didn't stay retired. But, I don't know. It just kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth, I guess. I mean, The Undertaker was retired when he went in. Sting was retired when he went in, but then he came back out. Edge had retired due to injury when he went in, obviously. And see, now with Edge, or that type of situation, he was injured, he had to retire, immediately went to the Hall of Fame the next year. I'm good with that. Because by all accounts, his career was done. He was told he can never get back into a wrestling ring. And then 9 years later, he finally got himself, was able to get cleared medically to get back in the ring. Nobody expected it. Nobody thought it would ever happen. So, Edge gets a pass. And I think, I don't think it should necessarily be you have to be retired for 5 years or whatever. You have to be retired for a year for pro wrestling. 1 year. So that's my take on it. A lot of people are going to disagree with that. Some might agree with it. A lot of people think wrestling halls of fame are just a complete joke anyway and don't mean anything, especially the WWE's Hall of Fame. But it is what it is. I think it's a nice way to honor guys that have given basically their lives to the wrestling business. So I don't have an issue with it. I mean, hell, I've got a Hall of Fame plaque back here. So, but I'm pointing to a plaque that you guys can't even see because of my backdrop. But anyway, that's my take on just wrestling halls of fame in general. I do think they're a great way to honor the guys who have given so much to the wrestling business. So I'm not disparaging them and saying they shouldn't exist. I'm just saying there should be a little bit stricter parameters for eligibility. That's it. So that is going to wrap things up for this week. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching, listening, subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. Make sure to check out Linktree/CatchHookShoot or scan the QR code in the corner of your screen. You can find our website, all our social medias, the YouTube channel, all the podcasting platforms. Still don't have the stores back up and running yet. I'm working on it. I promise. I'm trying to scale stuff down. I said before, we just had too much in the store. But I'm working on some new stuff too that I think is kind of cool. Just kind of finalizing some designs. Be patient with me. I design all this stuff myself, so it's not like I have graphic designers and stuff. I put all this stuff together myself, so it takes a little time to get it just right to where I think it's good. So keep an eye out for that, though. I definitely will make an announcement when the stores are back up and running, both Pro Wrestling Tees and on the website. So, with that, once again, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Have a couple drinks for me tonight if you go out and party. But like I said, don't drink and drive. But enjoy your green beer and your Irish whiskey. And hope everybody has a great weekend coming up. Great next week. Enjoy all the great wrestling coming up. And I will talk to you guys soon.